Hey guys, Chicky DeMain, Deboo.com with a Deboo.com Surf Forecast Update. This forecast update effective around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, March 23rd, 2017. And okay guys, what an exciting time coming up in the upcoming forecast in both theaters in the North Pacific and over in the Atlantic. Going to start you off over here with this hurricane force low that moved off Japan several days ago. Max seas were forecast to reach near 50 feet in west-northwest swell, and a big swell is heading across the North Pacific, heading towards the United States West Coast. Now, in the most recent model runs, for those who follow us, you know we always talk about repeat performance, or sometimes in weather, like in history, it repeats itself. It now appears that the North Pacific is setting up for a massive swell event that could go down as one of the all-time events, guys. Top 10 possible coming, as another area of low pressure is now forecast to move across Japan in the same fashion as this hurricane force low just did 3 to 4 days ago, in effect making a repeat performance. And we'll show you that here in the model in just a few moments. But this first hurricane force low, 48-hour NOAA swell forecast showing 20-second front runners, westerly swell, and this is going to maintain seas in excess of 30 feet as this system bends up towards the Aleutians in here. So big swell already heading that way. 96 hours, 4 days, guys. Look at the difference between 48 and 96. That swell is going to hit the coast, and it's going to hit it hard. Now keep in mind, another hurricane force low developing, massive in size, generating an equal another swell right behind this one, guys. This is really exciting. Show you this here in the model run now. Here it is. This is that hurricane force low that's there. We'll advance the model for you, and as you'll see, it lifts up towards the Aleutians and creating that west-northwest swell on the backside here. But look, another area of low pressure begins to develop in the Gulf of Alaska, and this is increasing this west-northwest fetch in here, all aimed at the U.S. West Coast. We'll advance the model some more for you, and look, 982 millibar low now exiting the Japan coast, and repeat performance. Look at this, going up into the Aleutians. This is for Wednesday, March 29th, guys. So this is inside of 7 days. We'll advance the model some more for you. And then as you can see, this strong westerly component. We'll back that back up for you because this has the chance of exploding in here, sending another solid swell back to back over the next 7 days. Switch over to the Atlantic now, where things start to get a little exciting. You know, we've talked about in our last several updates seeing the signs of season change and heading towards tropical season. We're inside about 70 days until the official start. Here's what the Atlantic looks like. There's an area of low pressure up in here in Canada. This is forecast to move straight on across and could become, like we just saw over in the North Pacific, a massive low up in here south of Greenland. At the same time, we have this area of low pressure that kicked off. We've got high pressure now, northeast winds cranking in behind the front down here. And the rule of thumb is always watch the tail ends of fronts or along stalled or dying fronts for an area of low pressure to develop. Over the last several runs, the models have been hinting at an area of low pressure, weak in nature, lifting up out of the eastern Caribbean, north of Hispaniola and Puerto Rico. There's a possibility we could see subtropical storm or tropical storm Arlene coming in the next 4 to 5 days. There's a lot of uncertainty what's going to happen with this surface low, which is forecast to develop in about 72 hours. And there's differences between the GFS and the ECMWF, but there's a possible surf alert setting up for the Florida East Coast, possibly Southeast U.S. coast. We'll have to see how the forecast pans out. Here it is in the GFS. Here's that area of low pressure that's now up over Newfoundland. We'll advance the model for you, and you'll see high pressure comes in and digs in. And the rule of thumb here, especially during tropical season, is you get high pressure stack like this, and it's always look out below. So that's why we look for that draw coming out of the Eastern Caribbean, lifting up north of the islands in here. Now watch what happens there. There it comes. Now this is on Sunday, March 26th. And you can see now this is going to start to increase some east-southeast flow now. So we've had this strong northeast flow into Florida, and now we're going to back it with east-southeast. GFS takes and develops the low into a closed low here. 1,008 millibar, could see winds 40 to 45 knots at the strongest. Now the difference between the Euro and the GFS, we'll show you the Euro here in just a second, is the GFS wants to try to advance it towards the Bahamas a little bit. We'll have to see how that pans out. But then when we look at the Euro model, we'll advance that for you. You can also see high pressure stack, look out below, lifting up north of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. Boom, 1010 millibar low, and lifts it up. Now the negative with the Euro is the Euro takes it off in its natural progression off towards the northeast, and that becomes a negative swell production factor versus the GFS, trying to bring it into the Bahamas. But I want to back the model up for you a little bit, because here's that area of low pressure that we talked about that's up in here towards Canada. That's right in here. So watch what happens up in here in the North Atlantic, and you'll see that as we advance the model right in here, look at all of this northeast fetch that's coming off the tip of Greenland. Okay, so that would put some northeast swell in the water. Obviously, Newfoundland in here is going to be a shadow, and there's, not a real good shot of Florida surf in here, or maybe even into the Bahamas, but it opens up Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, and then Western Africa as this begins to wrap around. So this is all inside of 7 days, guys. This is day 7 here. Stay tuned for the forecast. That's all we got for you for now. Stay tuned.